Hello, my name is Tyler Darrington, and I'm going to be interviewing my mother, Sharice Mitchell. She's going to tell a time of what it was like growing up in the summer with her.
Hello. I grew up in Whistler, Alabama. It's kind of right between 8 Mile and Pritchard. Very little small in between place. I actually grew up on St.StephensRd. As a child, I attended Martha Thomas Elementary, which is now known as Pritchard Preparatory. One of the fondest memories I have growing up is how long the summertime used to be. Like, we would be ecstatic about summer because it seemed like it lasted forever. Now, we grew up in an apartment complex, so it was always something to do. It was always a lot of kids outside. We were always just outside. Like, literally, we would wake up, wash our face, brush our teeth, put on clothes, and we were outdoors like all day. Kids nowadays, they don't go outside. We would bring out bikes, we would bring out skateboards, hopscotch. We had races. We did Mother May Out. Whatever we thought of as a game, we did it. So I can remember in the summertime how myself, my sister, and a lot of the other neighborhood kids, how we would pick berries, blackberries, and honeysuckle. Most of the parents at that time worked in the neighborhood, so most parents were at work while the kids were at home. We did have those neighbors that, looked out for us, but 9 times out of 10, we were at home for the summertime while our parents worked. So I can remember a group of about 10 of us. Like, there was our apartment complex, and then you could go through the little pathway and it would lead you to what was then known as Food World. And there was also a drugstore called Big B. So literally every day we would go and we would walk the little path, and we would go and search for blackberries and honeysuckle. So everybody would get like a pail or a bowl or something like that, and we would all go on this little trail and we would find all the juiciest blackberries. Now, there were some blackberries that would have it had like a little bad mark or a little missing berry, and we would say, "Ooh, no, don't get that one. That's a snake bite on that one," and we would throw it back. But we would just literally pick berries for at least an hour or two. Once we got done picking the berries, we would all go to either my house or we would go to one of the other kids' houses, and we would rinse them off, load them down with sugar, and we would go in the breezeway and we would make ourselves a nice little picnic. We would make ourselves a nice little picnic, and we would all split the berries, and we would sit there just laughing, janking, and just enjoying the juicy blackberries. Another thing we would like to do is we would go into the back of the apartments. It was little pathways we had created everywhere. So there was a fence behind the apartment complex, and on that fence were these honeysuckles. So each day we would go and we would just pick the little honeysuckle. My kids are like, "What are honeysuckles?" We would get that little flower and we would pull out the stem, and we would just enjoy that little bit of honey. It was only literally one little dot of honey. But that was just so exciting to us that we were picking these honeysuckles and picking these blackberries, and we would just make the most of it, and we just had so much fun doing that. And now I look back and my children who are now growing up, and I tell them about those things, and they're like, "Mom, what are you talking about?" So it's just crazy how fast time flies, and how it's the small little memories and the small little things or the small reminders. Like, you can be walking and something will hit you and it takes you back to being a child. So I hope this story was interesting. So that's my story of growing up as a child and picking blackberries and honeysuckle.